Brian here from Cigars and Pairings. I'm just doing another one of my little nub videos today. I thought today I'd talk about Vitola size. I know you probably heard me mention Vitola in a lot of my other videos. Simply put, Vitola is the shape and size of a cigar, and making your selection when you go to a shop or when you're discussing cigars with other people, it's nice to just be able to say, yeah, the Vitola I've got is, because it's just part of the cigar lingo. I know a lot of people are like, okay, I looked up a cigar and there's 6 different sizes of the same cigar, and some of them are short and some of them are really thick and fat, but they all say they're the same kind of cigar. So what does it mean? Now what I'm smoking here, that's going to be a 46 ring gauge, and that's going to be a little on the narrow end of things. So when I talk about Vitola, you might ask, what is ring gauge? Well, ring gauge is going to be a simple measurement of 1/64 of an inch. So when I say a ring gauge of 38, it's going to be 38 notches on the way to 1/64 of an inch. So a ring gauge of 50 is going to be naturally a bigger, thicker size, something more like this. This is going to be a bigger ring gauge. It's going to have a lot more filler in it. It's kind of harder to see, but yeah, this one's is a little thicker. But the point being is that the narrower the cigar, the more concentrated the flavor. It's kind of a myth to think the bigger the cigar, the more flavor it's going to punch. It's actually going to be milder because it's going to have more filler, and so, you know, it's going to be a little bit more mellow. So if you've ever had a cigar, like let's say you picked up a 38 before and it was a little too concentrated for you, if you can find the same cigar in a bigger ring gauge, a 50 or a 60, that might be the way to pick up the same flavors that you liked, but it's not going to be as powerful. And vice versa. If you smoke something that was a little too big and you liked the flavors, but it didn't pack enough of a punch, go a little narrower and you might get something better the next time. What's interesting to note is that it wasn't until about the 90s that bigger ring gauge cigars became popular. In the 40s and 50s, during the American craze, the first American craze of cigar boom, I think 42 was the biggest ring gauge. With the 80s and 90s and that cigar boom, you had more of an interest in the bigger ring gauges, and I think a lot of that had to do with some of the mafia movies where you had mafia dons with the big cigars, and then once it got to Tony Soprano, who's smoking 60 ring gauge every time, I mean, I think that kind of sold the idea of big cigars being a status thing. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have a comment about which kind of Vitolas you like and why you prefer that kind to stick, leave a comment in the comment section and smoke them if you got them.